Blutbad.
Hello and welcome back to another behind the scenes toy photography video. This week I'll show you how to use a Gobo to create patterns with light. I call this shot Death of a Warrior. I'll also show you my editing process. For this shot I used the Heavy Infantry Mandalorian, aka Paz Viszla, and the Imperial Praetorian Guard from Hasbro's Star Wars The Black Series. The last few months have finally seen the Black Series releases of some key characters from The Mandalorian Season 3, and I am pumped to finally get to recreate some of my favorite scenes. One of the most impactful episodes of the season saw the heroic death of the Mandalorian Warrior Paz Viszla at the hands of Moff Gideon's Imperial Praetorian Guards. It was hard to watch, but Viszla went out like a hero, buying time for his people's escape and wrecking a ton of Armored Commandos before being taken down by the most elite troops the Imperial Remnant had to offer. My shot was fairly simple to set up. I used an old beat-up baking sheet as a metal ground surface and placed my camera high above it to get a bird's eye view. For the guard impaling Paz, I used the whole stick the pokey bit under the arm trick, and for the guard behind Paz, I slotted his polearm behind the Mandalorian's pauldron to make it look like it was cutting into him. In the show, Paz fought with a knife, which the action figure doesn't include, so I borrowed the knife from my Bad Batch Wrecker figure. For my lighting, I placed a large softbox to the right of the scene and placed a spotlight on a tripod behind my characters. I positioned a 3D printed Imperial wall between my spotlight and my figures to create these light patterns in the background. This is called a Gobo, which is short for go-between optics, and it's a really fun technique to play around with. Here's my starting image. Aside from my usual touch-ups, my goal for this edit was to use custom Photoshop brushes to add some special effects, livening up the scene. I began by cropping my image and adding adjustment layers for color balance and levels. Next, I used the healing brush tool to remove some dust and to fill in the articulation joints on my figures. After adding a vignette to darken the edges, I used the dodge tool to lighten up my main subject. Darkening the edges of an image while lightening the middle helps draw the viewer's eye towards the center of the shot. Our hero was using a vibro knife in this fight, so I made a selection around his knife blade and applied a motion blur effect to it. Our villains also had some pink electricity on their weapons, so I used custom brushes to add some of that, as well as some sparks. At the last minute, I decided to use the dodge tool again, this time to lighten up my light beams in the background. So once again, here's my starting image. And here's where I ended up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and make sure to check me out on Instagram. Thanks, and until next time.